What's the moment you realize your relationship was over? For me, it was finding a hidden box in our closet filled with hundreds of notes my girlfriend had written about someone else. Love letters, poems, diary entries, all about A, the person who understood her soul in ways I never could. The box was dated throughout our entire 3-year relationship. I, 29M, have been with my girlfriend Lily, 28F, for 3 years. We moved in together a year ago. It's been good, not perfect, but good. We had our issues like any couple, but I thought we were solid. I thought we were building toward marriage. I was wrong. Last Saturday, I was cleaning out our bedroom closet. We'd been meaning to do it for months. It was packed with boxes from a move that we'd never unpacked. Lily was out with friends for the day, and I figured I'd surprise her by organizing everything. Most boxes were normal. Winter clothes, old textbooks, decorations. Then I found a box in the very back corner, behind a stack of shoe boxes. It was plain brown, about the size of a shoebox, but deeper. It had no label. I almost didn't open it. I'm not a snooper. I respect privacy. But it was in our shared closet, and I was organizing, so I figured it was fair game. I lifted the lid. Inside were papers. Lots of papers. Notebooks, loose pages, folded notes, printed emails, all covered in Lily's handwriting. The first page I pulled out was dated 2 months ago. It was written in her journal-style handwriting, the kind she uses when she's being introspective. Saw it today at the coffee shop. Just a glimpse across the room, but my heart stopped. It's been 3 months since we last talked, and I still feel it. That pull, that connection. I went home and pretended everything was fine with Daniel, but all I could think about was A's smile. Why can't I let this go? Daniel, that's me. A, that's someone else. I felt cold. I sat down on the closet floor and started reading. There were hundreds of pages. Hundreds. Dating back 3 years. The entire length of our relationship. Some were diary entries. Daniel is nice. He's stable. He treats me well. But when I close my eyes, I see A. I think about the conversations we had, the way we understood each other, without words. Daniel is good for me, but A is good with me. There's a difference. Some were unsent letters. Dear A, I know I shouldn't write this. I know you've moved on. But I need you to know that I think about you every single day. I wonder what you're doing, who you're with, if you ever think about me. I'm with someone now. He's kind, but he's not you. No one is you. Some were poems. Your name is a prayer I whisper in the dark, while he sleeps beside me, unaware, that my heart belongs to someone else. Someone I can't have but can't forget. I read for 2 hours. I read everything, every single page, chronologically backward. Watch her feelings for this A person span our entire relationship. 3 years. She'd been thinking about someone else for 3 years. The entries were detailed. She wrote about seeing A at mutual friends' parties and having pretend they were just acquaintances. She wrote about checking A's social media obsessively. She wrote about dreams where she left me for A. She wrote about feeling guilty but not guilty enough to stop. Some entries were self-aware. I know this is wrong. I know I'm betraying Daniel emotionally, even if I've never cheated physically. But I can't help it. When I'm with Daniel, I'm present. I laugh at his jokes. I have sex with him. I make plans for the future. But in my head, I'm always wondering what if. What if I'd fought harder for A? What if I'd been braver? What if A is my actual soulmate and I'm settling for second best? Second best. That's what I was. Second best. The most recent entry was from last week. Daniel keeps hinting about engagement rings. He thinks I don't notice, but I do. He wants to propose. And I'm going to say yes because I'm 28 and I want stability, and A has moved on, and I need to move on too. But God, my heart hurts. I'm choosing the safe option, the right option, but not the option I want. I sat there on the closet floor, surrounded by evidence that the woman I loved had been in love with someone else the entire time we'd been together, that I was a consolation prize, that she was planning to marry me not because she wanted to, but because she'd given up on what she actually wanted. I heard the front door open. Lily was home. Daniel? I'm back. Did you pick up dinner? I didn't answer. I couldn't. I was still holding a page that read, "If a called right now and said, 'Leave him, be with me,' I would, in a heartbeat." Does that make me a terrible person? Probably, but it's the truth. Daniel. Lily appeared in the bedroom doorway. She saw me on the floor, saw the open box, saw the papers in my hands. Her face went white. "What are you doing?" Her voice was barely a whisper. I held up the page I'd been reading. "If a called right now and said, 'Leave him, be with me,' I would, in a heartbeat." She started crying immediately. Not fake tears. Real body-shaking sobs. "I can explain." Explain what? That you've been in love with someone else our entire relationship? That I'm second choice? That you're only with me because you can't have them? It's not like that. Then what is it like? I stood up. I just read 3 years of diary entries. 3 years of love letters to someone else. 3 years of you pretending I was enough while wishing I was someone else. I didn't mean for you to see that. That's not an explanation. That's not a denial. She sat on the bed, still crying. A was my ex. We dated in college. It was intense. It was passionate. It ended badly. A wasn't ready for commitment. Broke my heart. I spent a year getting over it. You can get over it. I thought I did. When I met you, I thought I was ready. You were everything A wasn't. Stable. Consistent. Actually present. I thought that's what I needed. But it wasn't what you wanted. I wanted to want it. I tried so hard to love you the way you deserve. Tried? You tried to love me. I do love you. Not the way you love A. I read it. Hundreds of pages. You love A. You tolerate me. That's not fair. I dumped the entire box on the bed. Papers scattered everywhere. Read them. You wrote them. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me any single one of these pages says you love me more than you love A, that you choose me, that I'm not just a safe option because A moved on. She couldn't. She looked at the pages and cried harder. Who is A? I asked, does it matter? Yes, it matters. Who am I losing to? Alex. A is Alex. We dated for 2 years in college. Broke up 5 years ago. And you've been carrying a torch for 5 years. I didn't realize I still felt this way until I was already with you. And by then, I'd made a commitment. I couldn't just leave because I had feelings for someone I couldn't have. So you stayed and pretended. I wasn't pretending. My feelings for you are real. But they're not enough. You said it yourself. Daniel is good for me, but A is good with me. I'm medicine. A is passion. She didn't deny it. Are you still in contact with Alex? I asked. She hesitated. That was answer enough. How often? We're Facebook friends. We text sometimes. Just casual stuff. How often, Lily? Every few weeks. Maybe once a week. It's nothing. You've been emotionally cheating on me with your ex for 3 years. I never cross a line physically. You crossed every other line. You wrote love letters. You wrote poems. You dreamed about leaving me. But I didn't leave. I stayed. I chose you. You settled for me. There's a difference. We stared at each other. The papers on the bed between us felt like a physical barrier. 3 years of evidence that our relationship was a lie. What do you want me to say? Lily asked, I want you to tell me the truth. If Alex called right now and wanted you back, would you leave? Silence. Would you? I don't know. That was somehow worse than yes. Get out, I said. What? Get out. Pack a bag. Go stay with a friend. I can't look at you right now. Daniel, please. You're not sorry you felt this way. You're sorry I found out. There's a difference. That's not true. Isn't it? You kept this box. For 3 years. You kept writing in it. You never stopped. You never told me. You were going to let me propose while you still had a box full of love letters to someone else hidden in our closet. She started to argue, then stopped, because I was right. I'll pack a bag, she said quietly. She left 20 minutes later. I heard the door close. Then I was alone with hundreds of pages of proof that I'd wasted 3 years loving someone who was in love with someone else. Update 1. I read everything. 2 days later. I know I shouldn't have. It was torture, but I needed to know the full truth. I spent Sunday reading every single page in that box. Chronologically, cover to cover, like a novel about my own heartbreak. Year 1, when we first started dating. Lily mentioned Alex in almost every entry. She compared us constantly. Daniel laughs at my jokes, but Alex understood it before I finished telling them. She wrote about feeling guilty for not being all in, but convinced herself it would fade. Year 2, when we said, I love you, the Alex entries became more desperate. She wrote about seeing Alex at a wedding and having a long conversation. She wrote about going home that night and having sex with me while thinking about Alex. She questioned whether she should break up with me, but decided she was too invested to leave. Year 3, this past year, when we moved in together. The entries became resigned, less passion, more practicality. She wrote about accepting that life isn't a fairy tale and choosing stability over fantasy. She wrote about how she was going to marry me because it's time to grow up. The most devastating entry was from 6 months ago. Daniel asked me today what my biggest dream is. I told him traveling to Japan. But that's a lie. My biggest dream is that Alex shows up at my door and says, I made a mistake. I want you. I've always wanted you. And I get to have the life I actually want instead of the life I settle for. But that won't happen. So I'll marry Daniel and have kids with Daniel and grow old with Daniel. And I'll die having never told him that he was always my second choice. I threw up after reading that one. I also found printed emails. Lily had been emailing Alex semi-regularly. The emails were friendly on the surface, but the subtext was clear. She was keeping a door open, checking in, making sure Alex knew she was still there if Alex ever changed their mind. Alex's responses were polite, but distant. From what I could tell, Alex had moved on, was in a new relationship, wasn't pining for Lily the way Lily was pining for them, which somehow made it worse. I was losing to a memory, to a ghost, to a fantasy version of a person who didn't even want Lily back. Update 2. Lily came back 3 days later. She'd been staying with her friend Emma. On Wednesday, she came back to talk. I let her in. We sat in the living room. Everything felt surreal. Did you read all of it? She asked. Yes. Then you know everything. I know you've been in love with your ex our entire relationship. I know you've been emotionally cheating on me for 3 years. I know you were going to marry me while still being in love with someone else. Yeah, I know everything. I'm sorry. Are you? Are you sorry you felt that way or sorry I found out? Both. At least she was honest. I've been thinking a lot, she said, about what you said, about settling. And you're right. I did settle. But not because you're not good enough. You're wonderful. You're kind and patient, and you treat me better than anyone ever has. But I'm not Alex. No, you're not. And that's the problem. Yes. We sat in silence. Can I ask you something? I said, if you love Alex so much, why didn't you fight harder? Why did you let them go? Because Alex didn't want me. Not the way I wanted them. Alex wanted freedom and adventure and no commitments. I wanted forever. We were incompatible. So you chose me because I wanted what you wanted, even though you wanted Alex? I chose you because I thought I could learn to love you the way I loved Alex. I thought love was a choice, that if I chose you every day, eventually my heart would catch up. Did it? No, but I wanted it to. More silence. I can't do this, I said. I can't be someone's second choice. I can't spend my life wondering if you're thinking about someone else. I can't marry you knowing that you wrote, I'll die having never told him that he was always my second choice. She started crying again. I was wrong to write that. I was in a dark place. But you felt it. You feel it. If Alex called tomorrow and wanted you back, you'd go. You wrote that 6 months ago. Has anything changed? She didn't answer. That's what I thought. What do you want me to do? She asked. Cut off Alex completely? Delete everything? I'll do it. I'll choose you, but you'll resent me for it. You'll resent me for making you give up your what if. I won't. Yes, you will. Maybe not today, maybe not next year, but eventually you'll wake up one day, 10 years from now, with my ring on your finger and my kids in your house, and you'll hate me for being the reason you never got your fairy tale with Alex. You don't know that, don't I? I read 3 years of your diary. I know exactly how you think. She wiped her eyes. So what now? Now we break up. You go be in love with Alex's ghost, and I go find someone who actually wants me. I do want you. You want the life I can give you. Stability, commitment, marriage, kids. But you don't want me. There's a difference. That's not fair. It's completely fair. You wrote it yourself. Multiple times. Update 3. She reached out to Alex 1 week later. Lily's friend Emma called me. She felt I should know. Lily had reached out to Alex, had told him everything, had basically confessed her feelings, and asked if there was any chance for them. Alex said no, said they were happy in their current relationship, said they cared about Lily but only as a friend, said they hoped Lily could move on. Lily was devastated. She's a mess, Emma said. She's barely eating. She can't stop crying. She says she lost both of you. She lost me by her own choices. I said, I know. I'm not asking you to take her back. I thought you should know she tried. She finally confronted her feelings, and it went exactly how you predicted. Is she okay? She will be, eventually. But right now? No. Part of me felt bad. Part of me felt vindicated. Mostly I just felt sad. Sad that 3 years had been wasted. Sad that Lily had lived in a fantasy instead of reality. Sad that I'd been collateral damage in her internal love story. Update 4. I helped her move out 2 weeks later. Our lease was in both our names. We had 6 months left. Lily agreed to forfeit her half of the deposit and find somewhere else to live. I helped her pack. It was the least I could do, despite everything. I'm sorry, she said while taping up a box of books. I'm sorry I wasted your time. I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry I wasn't brave enough to face my feelings earlier. I'm sorry, too, I said. For what? You didn't do anything wrong. I'm sorry you never felt for me what I felt for you. I'm sorry that I couldn't be what you needed. I'm sorry that I was so easy to settle for. You weren't easy to settle for. You were extraordinary. That's why I stayed. But not extraordinary enough to forget Alex. No one would be extraordinary enough for that. It wasn't about you. It was about me. She finished packing. Before she left, she handed me an envelope. What's this? A letter. Read it later. She hugged me. I let her. Then she left. I waited an hour before opening the letter. Daniel, you deserve the full truth, not just the diary entries, but the real explanation. I loved Alex the way you love someone when you're young and stupid and convinced that pain equals passion. It was dramatic and intense and ultimately unsustainable. When it ended, I was destroyed. I swore I'd never let anyone hurt me like that again. Then I met you. You were safe. You were kind. You didn't make me feel like I was on a roller coaster. You made me feel stable. And I convinced myself that stable was better than passionate, that safety was better than intensity. But I never stopped craving the roller coaster. I never stopped missing the feeling of being consumed by someone. And that's not your fault. You gave me everything you had. It just wasn't the kind of love I was wired to want. I thought I could change. I thought I could grow up and appreciate what you were offering. But I couldn't. I tried. I really tried. But every time I closed my eyes, I saw Alex. Every time you touched me, I wondered what it would feel like if you were Alex. Every time you said you loved me, I wished I felt the way you did. You asked if I'd leave you for Alex if they called. The answer is yes. I would have. Even now, even after Alex rejected me, if they changed their mind, I'd probably go. And that's how I know I'm wrong for you. You deserve someone who chooses you first. Who doesn't have a box of letters to someone else? Who doesn't spend 3 years wishing they were braver? I hope you find her. I hope she loved you the way I couldn't. I'm sorry I wasn't her. Lily, I read it 3 times. Then I put it in the box with all her other letters. Her final entry in 3 years of pining for someone else. At least this one was honest. Update 5. I ran into Alex 1 month later, completely by accident, at a bookstore downtown. I recognized him from Facebook profile pictures I'd definitely not stalked after reading Lily's diaries. I almost left, but something made me approach them. Alex. They turned. Yeah, I'm Daniel, Lily's ex. Recognition dawned. Oh shit. Hi. Can I buy you a coffee? They looked uncertain but agreed. We sat in the bookstore cafe. I'm not here to yell at you or anything, I said. I'm just curious. About what made you so special? What made you impossible to get over? Alex looked uncomfortable. I don't think I'm the right person to answer that. You're the only person who can. They sighed. Lily and I dated in college. It was my first serious relationship. I was 20 and terrified of commitment. She wanted forever. I wanted to travel and figure out my life. We fought constantly. It ended badly. Do you still have feelings for her? No. I care about her as a person, but no. I've moved on. I'm engaged, actually. They showed me a ring. I congratulated them. She reached out to me. Alex said, a few weeks ago, told me she'd been in love with me for years. That she'd been with you, but thinking about me. I know. I heard. I felt terrible. I had no idea. If I'd known she was still hung up on me, I would have, I don't know, said something earlier. We've been casually friendly on social media. I thought she was over it. She wasn't. I'm sorry. For both of you. This whole situation is fucked up. Can I ask you something? What do you think she was in love with? The real you or the idea of you? Alex thought about it. Honestly, I think she was in love with the idea of me. We were terrible together. We brought out the worst in each other. But it was intense. So she convinced herself it was love. When it ended, she never had to face the reality that we were incompatible. She just got to remember the passion and forget all the problems. So I lost the fantasy. Yeah, you did. And that's not fair to you. We talked for another hour. About relationships. About nostalgia. About how sometimes people fall in love with potential rather than reality. When we left, Alex said, for what it's worth, Lily talked about you a lot on social media. In her posts, you sounded like a really good partner. She was lucky to have you. Just not lucky enough to appreciate it. Her loss. Final update. Moving forward 3 months later. It's been 3 months since Lily moved out. 3 months since I found the box. 3 months since my relationship exploded. I'm doing okay. Better than okay, actually. I'm doing well. I took down all the pictures of us. Donated the furniture we'd bought together. Painted the bedroom a different color. Made the apartment mine instead of ours. I went on a few dates. Nothing serious yet, but I'm not rushing. I'm learning to be alone again. Learning to trust again. Learning that not everyone is secretly pining for their ex. Lily texted me a few times. Apologizing again. Asking how I was doing. Hinting that maybe we could try again. I didn't respond. There's nothing left to say. My friends asked if I regret the 3 years. If I feel like I wasted time. Honestly? No. I learned what I want. I learned what I deserve. I learned that someone can love you and still not choose you. And I learned that I'd rather be alone than be someone's second choice. Last week, I went out with someone new. Her name is Sophie. We met at a friend's party. She's a graphic designer. She's funny. She's present. She doesn't talk about her ex. She doesn't compare me to anyone. When she looks at me, I feel seen. Not settled for. Seen. We've been on 3 dates. It's early, but there's something there. Something that feels real and present and not haunted by ghosts. On our 3rd date, Sophie asked, what are you looking for? Someone who chooses me first. I said, not because they can't have someone else. Not because I'm stable, but because they actually want me. That's reasonable, she said. I can do that. And I believed her. As for Lily, I heard through mutual friends that she's in therapy. working through her commitment issues and her Alex obsession. I hope she figures it out. I hope she finds peace. But her journey isn't my journey anymore. I found a box that showed me the truth, that I'd spent 3 years with someone who wished I was someone else. And yes, it destroyed me, but it also freed me. Now I get to build something real with someone who sees me as their first choice, not their backup plan. And that's worth more than 3 years of being someone's good enough. Edit. A lot of people are asking if I think Lily is a bad person. Honestly, no. I think she's a person who didn't do the hard work of getting over her ex before starting a new relationship. I think she's someone who confused intensity with love. I think she's someone who made bad choices that hurt people. But that doesn't make her evil. Just human. And flawed. Like we all are. Edit 2. Some people are asking why I helped her move out if I was so hurt. Because holding on to anger hurts me more than it hurts her. Because I'm not interested in revenge. Because being kind cost me nothing. And it lets me walk away knowing I was the bigger person. That matters to me. Edit 3. For everyone wondering about the box, no, I didn't keep it. After she moved out, I gave it to her. She cried and said she wanted to burn it. I told her to do whatever she needed to do. It's not my story anymore. Edit 4. Yes, Sophie knows about Lily in the box. I told her on our second date. She said, "That's terrible, and you deserve better." Then she changed the subject and asked about my favorite books. That's how I knew she was different. She acknowledged my past, but didn't dwell on it. She was interested in my present.